Ladies and gentlemen, say your mind is the starting point of everything you will ever become, experience, or create in your life. Every blessing that God has prepared for you is not something that suddenly appears out of nowhere. It is something that flows into your life through the gateway of your thoughts. What you dwell on becomes the foundation of your reality. When you wake up in the morning and allow your mind to fixate on fear, on worry, on lack, you are literally shutting the door on the blessings that are waiting for you. But when you choose to elevate your thinking, when you choose to see yourself as worthy, favored, and equipped, the very same mind that once limited you becomes the channel through which abundance enters. You cannot expect to attract blessings while harboring thoughts that contradict what you desire. Thoughts are energy, and that energy has a vibration. When you constantly replay old failures or speak words of doubt to yourself, you create a mental frequency that pushes opportunities and blessings away. But when you decide to think higher, to align your thoughts with faith, gratitude, and expectation, you tune yourself to the same frequency that blessings flow on. The blessing is already yours. It is not about convincing God to give it. It is about aligning your inner state so that you can receive it. Think about how the mind works like a fertile field. Whatever you plant in it will grow, whether it's seeds of doubt or seeds of possibility. If you fill your mind with fear and negativity, it will multiply and show up in your life as more reasons to be fearful. If you plant gratitude, faith, and belief, those will grow into open doors, connections, ideas, and breakthroughs that move you closer to the destiny you've been praying for. The soil doesn't discriminate. It just grows what you put in. Your mind works the same way. That's why guarding your thoughts is not just advice, it's spiritual strategy. Every single day you have the power to choose the thoughts that dominate your mind. When God says blessings are prepared for you, it means they are already in existence, already waiting for you to align with them. But many people sabotage themselves by using their own mind as a barrier. They imagine the worst. They dwell on what they lack. They talk themselves out of opportunities, and then they wonder why life feels empty or stagnant. It's not because the blessings aren't real. It's because the mind has not been positioned to receive them. Think about it. Blessings flow where there is openness. If your mind is locked on, I can't, I'm not enough, things never work out for me, you are building walls instead of doors. But the moment you switch to I am ready, I am favored, I believe things are shifting for me, you start opening doors. The shift may feel small, but it's everything. One thought held consistently can transform the path of your destiny. That is why people who train their minds to expect good, to see possibility in every challenge, often seem to attract blessings effortlessly. It is not luck, it is alignment. There is power in understanding that the mind creates pictures long before life brings them into reality. If you can see yourself walking in blessing, if you can imagine yourself healed, restored, prospering, then you have already begun the process of receiving it. But if you constantly visualize defeat, lack, or rejection, your mind is rehearsing a future you do not want. And because the mind is the gateway, it will eventually pull you into that reality. That's why Scripture reminds us to renew the mind, because transformation always starts there. You are not what happened to you, but you will always become what you think about the most. The blessing of God is limitless, but it requires a vessel that is open to hold it. Your mind is that vessel. Imagine holding a cup under a waterfall. The waterfall is endless, but if your cup is turned upside down, not a single drop can enter. That's what happens when the mind is closed by negativity, doubt, or fear. The blessings are still pouring, but you don't catch them because your mental cup is turned in the wrong direction. Shift your thoughts, and suddenly the flow begins to fill you. The greatest tragedy is not the lack of blessing, but the lack of awareness that the mind determines how much of that blessing you can actually hold. People live small not because God willed them to be small, but because their thinking kept them small. They accept limited beliefs, they internalize rejection, they magnify struggles, and in doing so, they unconsciously instruct their mind to close the door to possibilities. But the truth is your mind was designed to expand, to imagine bigger, to hold visions that stretch beyond your current reality. When you dare to think in alignment with blessing, you unlock doors that no man can shut. Every time you choose to see opportunity instead of obstacles, every time you affirm that you are worthy instead of rehearsing your flaws, you are opening your inner gateway wider and wider. And the wider that gateway opens, the easier it becomes for the blessings of health, peace, love, and provision to enter your life. It all starts with a decision. Will you let your mind be the barrier or the bridge? Energy is the unseen force that shapes the quality of your life, and it is constantly being generated by your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Every single thought you think carries a vibration, and that vibration attracts experiences of the same nature back to you. Negative emotions such as fear, anger, jealousy, doubt, or bitterness do not just remain inside you. They radiate outward and create an atmosphere around your life that influences what you draw in. If you dwell on resentment, you will continue to encounter more reasons to feel resentful. If you live in fear, situations will arise that confirm and strengthen that fear. This is not coincidence, it is the law of energy at work. Just as magnets pull iron toward them, your emotional state pulls conditions and people into your life that match the energy you are putting out. You cannot escape this principle because it operates whether you believe in it or not. It is like gravity. You do not have to believe in gravity for it to pull you down. And in the same way, you do not have to consciously believe energy attraction for it to govern your life. Many people unknowingly keep themselves in cycles of struggle because their inner energy is locked in negativity. They pray for blessings, but their emotional frequency is in direct opposition to what they desire. They ask for peace, but live in constant worry. They want prosperity, but constantly meditate on lack. The truth is, what you consistently feel becomes the signal you send out, and life mirrors that back to you in situations, opportunities, and relationships. This is why learning to shift your energy is so critical. If you want blessings to manifest, your energy must rise to meet them. When you cultivate emotions of gratitude, faith, expectancy, and joy, you elevate your vibration to a level where blessings can flow into your life naturally. Gratitude is one of the highest frequencies you can embody because it instantly tells the universe, I already have enough. And from that state, more is given to you. Faith carries an energy of trust and certainty, which magnetizes solutions and open doors. Expectancy draws to you the very things you are ready for because your energy says, I believe it is already mine. Think about the people you have encountered in your life. Some of them probably radiated such heavy negativity that you could feel it just by being around them. Their energy was heavy, draining, and resistant. On the other hand, you may have met people who seemed to shine with light and positivity, and being near them made you feel uplifted. Nothing about their physical appearance explained it. It was their energy. That same principle applies to you. The way you vibrate internally is the way you show up in the world, and it determines what you attract. If you are constantly filled with negativity, you cannot help but draw more negativity. But when you shift your energy toward positivity, you naturally begin to attract the right people, opportunities, and resources to move your life forward. It is important to understand that emotions are not random, they are signals. When you feel negative, it is an indicator that your thoughts are out of alignment with your highest good. Instead of ignoring or suppressing those feelings, use them as a guide. Ask yourself, what am I focusing on that is creating this emotion? What energy am I projecting right now? By becoming aware of your emotional state, you can consciously redirect it. For example, if you are anxious, pause and breathe deeply, then begin to focus on things you are grateful for. Gratitude immediately shifts your energy because it forces your attention away from lack and toward abundance. The more you practice this redirection, the more natural it becomes, and soon your energy begins to stabilize at a higher level. Remember, blessings are not random gifts dropped into your lap without preparation. They are drawn to you through alignment. If you are vibrating on a low frequency of negativity, even if a blessing arrives, you may not recognize it, or worse, you may repel it because your energy does not match it. Opportunities may come, but you will doubt yourself. Love may appear, but you will sabotage it with fear. Prosperity may open up, but you will push it away with unworthiness. That is why shifting your energy is not optional. It is essential for receiving what you have been praying for. There is a spiritual truth that says you reap what you sow. Think of your energy as the seed you sow every day. If you continually sow negative energy, the harvest will reflect that. If you choose to sow positivity, joy, faith, and gratitude, the harvest will also reflect that. It may not be instant, just as seeds do not sprout overnight, but the consistency of your energy will always produce results. The universe is not biased. It simply mirrors the frequency you sustain. When you finally grasp that energy attracts energy, you stop blaming external conditions for your reality and begin to take responsibility for your inner state. You realize that blessings are not withheld from you. They are waiting for you to rise to the frequency where they already exist. When you learn to manage your emotions, to guard your thoughts, and to maintain an inner state of positivity, you become magnetic to everything you desire. Life begins to cooperate with you instead of resisting you. Doors that were once closed start to open, and situations that once drained you begin to shift in your favor, not because the world suddenly changed, but because your energy did. Your destiny is not written in stone by the conditions you were born into, the challenges you have faced, or the circumstances that surround you right now. Destiny is shaped from the inside out, not the outside in. The world around you is a mirror reflecting what is happening within you, and the moment you shift your inner state, your belief, your attitude, your focus, you alter the course of your life. Too often people assume that external factors determine their future, their background, their mistakes, their education, their financial state. While these factors may influence, they do not define. What truly defines the trajectory of your life is the mental and spiritual shift that takes place inside you. One change in perspective can unlock opportunities that seemed impossible. One new belief can open doors that were previously invisible. And one decision to rise above negativity can rewrite the entire narrative of your destiny. Think about how many people remain trapped because they believe their past dictates their future. They replay old failures, disappointments, and setbacks until those memories become prisons that confine them. They say, this is how my life has always been, so this is how it will always be. That mindset locks their destiny in chains. But when you understand that destiny responds not to what has happened, but to what you believe can happen, you begin to reclaim authority over your life. The moment you stop identifying with your failures and start identifying with the possibility of success, the story changes. Your inner world becomes the architect of a new path, and your destiny begins to unfold in alignment with your renewed vision. Attitude is one of the most powerful forces in shaping destiny. Two people can go through the same storm, face the same setbacks, and walk away with entirely different futures, not because of the storm itself, but because of how they chose to interpret it. One person decides the storm destroyed their chance at greatness, while the other sees it as preparation for greater strength and wisdom. The second person rises, the first remains stuck. Destiny follows the one who chose to see purpose in the pain. This reveals an unshakable truth. Your destiny is never in the event. It is in your interpretation of the event. What you choose to believe about what happened to you has far more power than the event itself. Every shift inside you sends ripples outward into your world. When you shift from doubt to faith, you begin to notice opportunities you were blind to before. When you shift from self-pity to gratitude, your perspective expands and blessings hidden in plain sight start to appear. When you shift from fear to courage, you take actions you would have avoided, and those actions alter the trajectory of your journey. Your destiny is not shaped by luck or chance. It is crafted by the consistent shifts you make within yourself. The smallest internal realignment can lead to the greatest external transformation. Consider how many times people have been on the verge of giving up, only to experience breakthrough when they change their mindset. A person burdened by debt who feels crushed by financial struggle may live in despair for years, but the moment they shift from, "I will never get out of this," to "there must be a way," new ideas, solutions, and resources begin to appear. That mental shift doesn't instantly erase the problem, but it sets the stage for a destiny of abundance instead of a destiny of lack. Another person may feel stuck in toxic relationships, believing they are unworthy of love, but when they shift their inner belief to "I deserve better," their energy changes, their choices improve, and they attract relationships that honor their worth. The outward change follows the inward decision. It is important to understand that destiny is not some distant event that arrives fully formed. It unfolds daily through the thoughts you think, the emotions you cultivate, and the actions you take. Every time you decide to elevate your thinking, you are taking another step toward a higher destiny. Every time you release negativity, you clear a space for blessings to land. Every time you believe that something greater is possible, you stretch the boundaries of your future. Destiny is dynamic, and it bends to the authority of your inner world. The danger of negative feelings is that they cloud your vision of what is possible. Fear whispers that your dreams are too big. Doubt convinces you that you don't have what it takes. Anger tells you that life has been unfair, so why bother trying? These voices attempt to shape your destiny by anchoring you in limitation. But when you rise above those voices and shift your focus toward faith, courage, and possibility, you cut the anchor chain. Suddenly, the ship of your life begins to move again, and you realize that the harbor you were trapped in was never your final destination. A shift in your inner state does not require massive external resources. It begins with a decision. The decision to think higher. The decision to expect better. The decision to believe that what lies ahead is greater than what lies behind. Once that decision is made, your mind begins to search for evidence to support it, and in doing so, your reality starts to align with your new belief. This is why transformation always begins in the unseen places, your thoughts, your emotions, your faith, before it manifests in the visible. You cannot walk into the blessings meant for you while still holding tightly to the weight of bitterness, fear, or self-doubt. To receive what is greater, you must release what is lesser. The reason so many people feel stuck is not because opportunities do not exist, but because their hands, their hearts, and their minds are already too full of the things that drain them. Imagine trying to carry new gifts when your arms are already burdened with heavy stones. You cannot hold what is being offered until you let go of what you were never meant to carry. Releasing is not weakness, it is strength. It is the conscious choice to make room for joy, faith, and divine favor by setting down the baggage of anger, regret, and insecurity. Bitterness poisons the soil of your soul. It may feel justified because of what someone did to you, the betrayal you endured, or the pain that lingers from past wounds, but holding on to bitterness does not punish the person who hurt you. It punishes you. It eats away at your peace, clouds your judgment, and blocks the flow of blessings that are waiting to be poured into your life. When you release bitterness, you are not saying what happened was right. You are saying it will no longer control your future. You open the gate for healing and for new relationships.